Hello.
Hello. How's it going, Zach?
Doing good, doing good. It's a bit chill here. I just switch on the heater. Can you see my heater here?
Oh, someone's sitting next to the heater.
Yeah.
So, what's up? Heated up, boy?
Yeah. It's very cold.
Hmm.
How about
Well,
you?
Bangalore is not different. Well, it's not single digit cold, but cold Bangalore is still being cold. There's a saying in Bangalore saying Bangalore is Bangaloring. So,
Oh, really?
yes, that literally
Oh, yeah.
means the chilly rains, a little bit of sunshine, and of course, rains again. And that's what it is for the last close to 2 weeks. But yes, that's Bangalore.
Yeah, we have a saying in Wellington, you can't beat Wellington on a good day. So
Mhm.
it's basically, if it's a good day, it's amazing. Basically, it's like, it's cold, chill, and no windy, actually. And it will be sunny, and it's so nice.
I thought Wellington is windy.
It's windy, most of the times windy. Yeah. I think we are the second windiest city in the world, if I'm not wrong.
Hmm. That's some stat. Okay, I'll
Yeah,
remember that.
wind is crazy. I mean, it's it's totally different kind of wind.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, today we are not here to talk about winds and rains.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yes, something we can relate it, right? Like, yeah. Why not? Why not? Yes. So since we are talking about Wellington, I have something to share.
Yes. What's happening in Wellington? In
Yes.
that
Let
part
me
of the
share my screen
world?
first. Nice. Community Day. So this year, oops, nice, cool. So this year we are okay. I'm gonna hide this one. Okay, this year we are gonna host two community days, in person and a virtual one. So we thought of like first time we would like to do that, and thanks to all the communities around the world, like from the Japan, even from Bangalore, you guys are helping us with all the things. Thanks to your team, especially Avinash also. So if Avinash is listening to this, thank you, Avinash. And we have two events. So let's say if you are willing to travel to the windy Wellington, in September, we have the in-person one. So the in-person one's going to be, we have only 92 days, Zach. It's very basically few months. Yep, few months. So we
Countdown.
are very working very hard currently, and we are looking for call for speakers. And feel free to go to this website. Zach's going to share in a bit, and you're willing to travel all the way to Wellington, please, we are welcoming you, and you can do a talk or attend. And if you're willing to sponsor us, you can sponsor us as well. And we got our platinum sponsor from AWS. Thank you, Deepin. Yeah. So yes, these amazing people. Hey, Michelle. These are amazing people behind the scene working hard. Like we all doing a day job, and we love the community, and we are doing um, to the community. So this is for the in person. Let's say no, you're not planning to travel to Wellington, New Zealand, or would like to do in person virtual one. So we have something called a virtual. So this going to be exactly virtual. So you can see here. Um, it's for global, so we don't have address. So global, anyone can join and um, do you submit your talk, and call for speakers are open for that one as well. Please feel free to submit it, and this will be a good opportunity to share some good stories what you've built, or are you already working on some nice a funny story as well. So feel free to yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach me out. I'm happy to help if you have any questions. Yes. So that's all about from Wellington and New Zealand.
Wow. Well, that's one part of the world, a lot of things happening, and certainly somebody should not be missing it out. So good. I mean, it's great that you guys are also doing a virtual edition so that the reach for the other builders globally is also there. So kudos to the complete uh, New Zealand user group.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. So I think we're done with all the Wellington chit chat talk, and let's get into what I'm going to talk about today.
Let the wind blow towards Kubernetes, huh?
Yes. So we love Kubernetes. I think, Zach, you love Kubernetes now.
Okay.
So let
I
me
am
close this.
still a serverless guy.
Yes, Crow. So before we go ahead to Crow, 2 weeks ago at AWS Summit Sydney, myself and Ram is based in Wellington. He is one of the user group leader from Wellington, and he's a community builder, amazing person behind all these organizing things. And we both did a talk at the AWS Summit Sydney, and we got really good feedback. Even after the session, people are asking a lot of questions. So since it's a lightning talk, we couldn't share all the things, but we managed to share all the key components. But I thought, okay, why don't we just dig deeper and do a live demo live? So the summit one was a recorded one, so we can take some time, we can go each and every code, each lines, and we can just go with it. Have you heard about Crow, Zach? Not the bird crow, Crow.
Crow, crow, crow. So I know a bro who is always talking about crow.
Yes. So I heard about this last year at reInvent. At reInvent, AWS talked about this, and it was amazing. I would say that's one of my favorite sessions. And apparently, it was now being used by a lot of people, and most of the cloud vendors, especially EKS teams, they are trying to solve a lot of problems where these platforms are having. So we are going to talk about. I'm going to do a. I don't have any slides, so I'm going to do a live whiteboard session. So if you have any question live, and you can ask. So before I go ahead, I have to turn off my heater. It's a bit warmer now. Give me a minute.
Well, you're all warmed up for Kubernetes then.
Cool. It's all good. Nice. It's ready to go. Nice. This is the Crow website, basically, crow.run. And if you get started, all the information, what is Crow and everything there. But I'm going to simplify to explain, to understand what is actually this Crow and what we can do, and what are the benefits, what are the feature of Crow, and so a lot of things, and how you can contribute to Crow as well. So rather going through these diagrams, I'm going to talk something. So I have this. I love Miro. Definitely, I'm not sponsored by Miro, but I love Miro boards. Cool. So let's start with something day to day in organization, how we deploy things to Kubernetes. So I created. Do you guys love Kubernetes? Yes.
That was not a question to you, Zach. That was not a question.
I think DP is watching, so definitely he would say, Kubernetes. Yeah. So let's say, let's create something. Let's say create a kind of a group. This is all my Kube resources. Let's say, no, I'm not going to take this color because it's going to conflict with this color. I love this green one. Yeah. So let's group into such things. Like, let's say this my Kubernetes Kube resources. Nice. So in a Kube resources, what we have usually, right? Like, let's say we have a deployment and a service and a service account, a pod disruption budget, persistent volume claim. I can write all the resources, right? So in this case, we have a couple of Kubernetes resources, and each resources comes with different configurations a manifest a developer can use. So let's draw a developer here. Maybe let's say this is a dev, and using to deploy this. In Kubernetes, we have a different way of deployment. Like we can just use the raw manifest, like kubectl apply, or we can use Helm management, or we can use customize, or yeah, you name it. Even you can use Terraform to deploy it, like again a Helm wrapper. So in that case, developer just deploying this to, let's say, a EKS cluster. So I'm just gonna create EKS cluster here. Nice. It's pretty simple, right? So let's say everything is running in a pipeline. It's just deploying. And there are a couple of things to talk in deep for each and every resources. Let me get my terminal. So kubectl API resources. I'm gonna grep for API. So if someone is new to this command, like I'm just gonna list all the APIs in the cluster. So I have a running EKS cluster already, and I'm checking, and I'm gonna grep for deployment. So Zach, you can see, right? The API version is apps v1. Okay. And so on, all the resources comes with different APIs. So in my case, I am using different objects, and it comes with its own API, right? But let's think like this. So we have the same setup, and let me copy this, and here maybe the API version app v1. I'm just putting here app, let's say v2. So what's the problem here? No any standardization, right? No consistent, like another dev is using a different way of deploying. So no standardization of APIs inside these resources. So this is one of the problems for a platform team. Why? When we have cluster upgrades, Kubernetes cluster upgrades, I'm going to quickly go to the console, and I'm going to go to EKS. No, not this one. Monitor cluster, nice. Upgrading site, nice. I love this dashboard. So if there are any API deprecations in the future versions, this dashboard is amazing. Like it will show you any future deprecations. So currently for 1.31 to 1.32, no any deprecations. In such scenarios, you might see if you're using any deprecating APIs in the current version, it will fail here. It will say like it's failing this exact API. It's going to deprecate. So currently we don't have much. So this is for one of the previous APIs. You can see from 1.29 replacement version and stop serving version from 1.32. So currently we are not using this. It's all good. But in such scenarios, we might see these things like it's deprecating, and it will be a problem for a platform team. Let's say in a platform, we have multiple namespaces, multiple resources, like these application stacks deployed by developers. And if we don't have proper standardization for the APIs, so it will block. Cool. So that is one of the problem. Let's say, as serverless guy, do you like DynamoDB tables?
Of course, yes.
Cool. I'm going to delete this one. And this application, let's say we need a DynamoDB table, and we want to have some SQs. I'm going to copy this one and take it here. And we are going to grab some AWS resources. Oh no, so these are Kube resources. I want to get an iPad skill seriously. So these are, I'm going to create my AWS resources here. Cool. Okay. I'm going to create a Dynamo DB for Zach. And I'm going to create a couple of other things like SQ.
Basically, different AWS resources.
Yes, different use cases. Any AWS resources. Oh, and IAM. It can IAM policies, IAM roles. Yeah, let's say role. So role need a policy. So in that case, let's say the service account in the deployment will be having pods. The pods will be using the service account, and that service account need an IAM role to access these resources. So in that case, there are some dependencies. Let's do like this, and this pipeline, it's this resource stack. It's basically AWS resources. So what is the way we can deploy AWS resources?
I want to say cloud formation.
Oh, you want to say cloud formation? Okay. So yeah, this is a good answer, right? Because okay, Zach want to deploy using cloud formation, and I want to use using Terraform, and maybe Deepin wants to use CDK. Like, so we might have different options to deploy, right? So again, there's no standardization. So as a platform team, it's going to be really a really hard time to maintenance of these different tools, different versions, security patches, you name it. Like, so many issues will be there, right? Like, there'll be a toil for the platform team, and it will be reduce their efficiency and delivering the other improvements, and the half of the year will be ended up with maintenance, right? So this is going to be a very pain. What if I tell you, if I can group all, okay, group all, and I can create a magic, something like, oh, AWS CLI, yes. Yeah, so many things, right? Even ClickOps. If I can create an API in the Kubernetes, does make sense?
Yeah.
So all the resources we can as a group, and in that case, we are not letting developers to do their own resources, do their own way of deploying to the AWS or Kubernetes together. We just create a single API. It will manage everything. So that's what Crow is doing. So creating a custom API in the resource group of resources, we call it resource groups. We have the Kubernetes resources, and we have AWS resources. I'll come back to what is this A. A is not for Apple, it's something else. And we can create everything together in one API. So here you can see now, the platform engineering team will create something called a resource group, which will include a deployment, service account, ingress, Prometheus monitoring, or like any other tools, IAM role, policy, S3 bucket in this example. How did I forget about S3 bucket here? It's fine. Yeah. So then it will create an API. So developers will use that API to deploy the applications. And don't worry, we have the all the demo later. We can go through each and every component of this. Cool. Any questions, Zach, up to now?
Yeah, all good. Well, I understand it's one API way of orchestrating your resources. Is that?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like the Lord of the Ring, like the one ring to rule them all. So one API to deploy them all. So yeah. Yes. Yeah, we can take that Lord of the Ring analogy. Yes. So it's really simple. It looks Initially, when I read this one first, like I thought like, what is this? And when I play around with, like, yeah, um,
There is a question around
resource
resource
group
group.
can be per namespace governed. Yes. So in a platform, we have something called like namespace as service. So each namespace for a team. So yes, from our back we can govern these APIs. We can configure, okay, these APIs can be allowed only for this namespace. Like then the RBAC will can map, these users can access this namespace, and we can control all over. Yeah, cool. So you can go through the document. We are not here to go through the document. We are going to do some live. Yeah,
Yeah, may the
cool.
demo gods be with you.
Yes. So in case I have recorded one, in case if something goes wrong, but I'm not gonna. I hope the demo works with us. Yes. Cool. So first of all, thanks to EK's auto mode. So I am using an auto mode cluster here, and because of that, I didn't have to install all the core add-ons, everything covered by auto mode. But I have installed the metric server and the external DNS. In my demo, I'll be using Route 53 and AL being risk controller. So I need to make it more automated to map this domain name. So I'm using external DNS add-on. It's just installing via these manage add-ons. So it's super easy. And one more thing, here you can see pod identity. We'll be using pod identity in our demo as well. Currently, recently they announced the pod identities supporting for cross accounts as well. Definitely, that's something I wanted to do another podcast, Zach.
Yes, yes.
Cool. Let's dig into the code, right?
Yeah.
I think done talking.
Time to get hands on.
Cool. Later, Zach will share a GitHub repo link. Then you can try it your own. Everything is there. Everything is set up. I'm going to go through the code structure here, and you can try it your own and let us know how it goes. So first thing first, what we're going to do now, we are going to create this single API, custom API with a couple of resources. Nice. Before we go ahead, we have to install Crow, and we have to install something called ACK. So I told you about something A, right? Like not for Apple. I'm coming back here. So ACK is AWS controller for Kubernetes, which is really amazing. Using a Kubernetes API, you can manage your AWS resources, which means if I want to create a S3 bucket, I don't have to write IAC anything. I have to create simply install ACK controller for that specific AWS resources, such as IAM role, IAM resources or EKS resources or S3 bucket, DynamoDB, whatever. I can use the Kube API, and once the API is ready, I can basically create a Kubernetes manifest to control it. So I don't have to use any custom IAC tools. Nice. So let's go to the ACK here. So make it easier. It's basically Helm installation. So I created this small script. It will install in the ACK namespace, creating a namespace here called ACK system, and my cluster name here and the region, and basically it will do a Helm install. That's it. No magic. Cool. Let me go to platform team, ACK, and install.
So, what's the prerequisite, Zach? You mentioned about having Crow installed.
Yeah, Crow and ACK installed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm going to install the ACK first
Mm-hmm.
for the demo. Cool. So while it's installing, so basically I am going to install the ACK controller for IAM, DynamoDB, and EKS. Okay. Even if I want to install like S3 bucket, so there are multiple controller support, and I'm just passing which service I want, and for my demo, I only need 3. Yeah.
Got it. And you just have to define a set of list of services. Like I did
Yeah.
see IAM DynamoDB, so you
Yeah.
just add
Yeah.
the AWS resources there
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
per your
Yeah.
stack. That's
Yes.
fine.
Yes. So we have installed the can be policies to multiple resource group, able to deny, allow, flow, and layer over network policies. Yes, yes, it's supported as well. We can set up network policies as well. I haven't tried it with Crow yet, but yes, it's possible. It's already in the official document as well. Cool. Now, if I get pods, the pod might be failing because I have installed the controllers, but it doesn't have appropriate permissions to run. So I have to give the right IAM permission for the controllers, because if I'm going to create a IAM controller here, so this controller should be able to create IAM resources in my AWS account, right? Makes sense. So that's why I have something called setup IAM message.
So basically, you will have to define the
IAM
IAM
cluster
policies,
being
everything in a shell script, and run it.
oh, describe cluster operation, no cluster found in dev demo cluster. What? Okay, that's fine. Should be fine. Let's see.
There were
It's
a
fine.
couple errors.
Yeah, it's all right. Let's see. It's running. I promise it was working yesterday. Maybe my authentication. Get. Yep. I love live troubleshooting. Interesting.
Something with the ACK namespace.
No, it's in the it's unable to find the cluster. Okay, it's fine. Let's go ahead and run it again. When calling describe cluster operation, no cluster found, name dev demo cluster. And cool. I'm in the right region. This out these two.
Is it the right AWS account?
Yep. Oh, that's a really good question, actually. Should be. Oh, yeah. I think something done with the token. Good call.
Okay, IAM policies.
Yeah.
And I see the role says already exists.
Yeah, because it's already there. I mean, my script, I've run this multiple times. Yeah. So I put a kind of like a validation to check if the role is exist. Doesn't do anything. Yeah. Cool. Got this running. Sorry. Nice. So my controls are running successfully now. Okay. Now I'm going to clear this screen and the resources and grep for role. You can see here. So I have a kind called role now, and it's using IAM service, this API. Basically, I can create I can create AWS IAM roles. So this is Kubernetes native RBAC roles. This is a role for create AWS IAM, right? And if I, for table, I can create DynamoDB tables using this. And if I do EKS, I think yes. So EKS control install a lot of things. So you can see the pod identity association. So later I'll be creating a pod identity association. So I'm not going to use any IAC for that for my demo. It will be creating through this. And trust me, what I can create, I would say like baby clusters using this cluster, like cattle class clusters. I can use this, let's say this cluster is my platform cluster. I want to have like cattle class clusters, multiple clusters whenever I need it. I can use Kubernetes manifest to create a cluster. I'm not lying. If you go to the doc here, examples, AWS, EKS cluster. So later we'll go through this file, but this configuration for create a cluster from a cluster. Yeah. So basically you can enable the entire platform engineering top of EKS cluster. Yeah. Cool, eh? Yeah. Nice. So we have the ACKs done. So we have all the AWS resources, AWS controllers for Kubernetes install. So I'm going to install the Crow. Basically, it's very simple. It's another Helm deployment. I have seen a lot of people talking about is this going to kill Helm? Such statements, but I don't think personally, because here we are using Helm to install Crow, and yeah.
Wait,
Cool.
So when you say it like that, is Crow a replacement for Helm?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Because both are do two different things. Yeah, but let's say if you want to deploy these resources later, I can use Helm to deploy it. Using Crow, I can create my APIs. I can use Helm to deploy those resources for specific APIs. So, yeah. Nice. So I'm going to install the Crow. Cool, it's deployed. I'm gonna get my pods. It's container creating. So 0, still not running. Okay. So I have my Crow controllers, pod is running, and these controllers are running as well. So let's get that API as well. Cool. It's installed. So resource graph definition API is installed. Okay. So Crow will allow you to create resource group using this API. What is that? Let me go back here. Oopsie. So you can see in this one, it's all a resource group, right? Like a stack. So resource graph definition API, we are going to use later to create this resource group and a custom API. It can be Jones API, Zacs Show API, whatever API we want. Later, you can see what is my favorite fruit is. Anyone from New Zealand here, they will understand the joke. We have done with all the installation. What are the prerequisites? Like if you wrap it up, I just install, I set up the EKS Automate cluster. For this specific demo, I needed the metric server and the external DNS, but it's not a necessity to test this. But to make it fun, I created it. Then now we are going to jump in to this resource group. Okay. Hello. Cool. So this is my manifest file for create my API. Okay, we can see in the kind, it's resource graph definition. Here, the resource graph definition, and I'm using the crawl run / v1 alpha 1, which is the API. Looks good. Cool. If you're familiar with Kube, you already know like what the YAML file is, all these things, and I'll go and each and every block and explain what is going on here. And we'll start with this spec file. So let's think the spec file where we can allow customers. Let me map with Helm. So in Helm charts, we have something called dipping. So yes, Fedora. So let's map this with kind of like Helm, if you're familiar with Helm, and we have a chart file and we have a default value file, right? So where others can configure their values, like developers are allowed to configure the values, and as a platform team, we have to make sure we can define default values to put some guardrail. So here I'm creating an API called Fedora Abstract. So Fedora is my favorite fruit. I love it. So that's why Deepinus keeps saying that. And it's a string. The team name. Later, I'm using these variable values in my file to make some standardization. And the image, developers are allowed to pass their image because they might have different type of image. The content images, by default, I'm just leaving it Nginx.
There is a
Multi-cluster.
question around governing
Multi-cluster is a very, very big question. I mean, big topic that everyone is talking about. To be honest, the answer is I don't know. But we are engineers. I think with these resources, we should be able to do it because with the pod identity, the recent blog about cross-account pod identity, using those things, I should be able to see. But is your question is about deploying multi-clusters or managing multi-clusters? So let me know. I'll answer. Cool. And how much number of replicas I want, and the container port, and the pod disruption budget. It's an integer. So currently its default value is 1. So I'm putting kind of a condition if the ingress is enabled or not. So let's say if that workload is a worker, so we don't need an ingress object, right? So we can put a condition like this. I put these things to show that, okay, these are the type of values it supported, and everything is on that documentation very clearly. And the cluster name, the DynamoDB table name, developers have the agility to pass the table name, but same time, if not, we are defining the default value. So for example, here I'm getting the spec name and the hyphen table name. So basically we can have a standardization of naming. So all the resources will have the same name. So it will be easy. So the team name, I got it for a reason. I will show you later. And I am enforcing resource request and limits. Like Zach, you're from observability. You're more into observability, right? So
Yes.
Observability teams we're gonna love this. Having these values, and I'm passing the region as well. So it's custom built for my own requirement for this demo, but it's open. You can build a lot of things. So status, we can check the status of the resources we are creating, like this kind of doing the reconciliation of the resources. And yeah, that's all about spec. It's very simple. You can see, right? I'm just putting some variables and values later on, where these are like the source code assigning the global variables. We are going to use it later. And this is all about the spec. Now we are going to the resource section. I think it sounds a bit like CloudFormation, right, Zach? Because In
It
CloudFormation, we
does
have,
look
yeah,
so because you are defining everything as YAML,
yeah,
and of course different variables. And
yes.
can we also do referencing of variables?
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to show you here.
Mhm.
So in CloudFormation, yes, we have seen I think there's a very unique question most of the place I've seen. What is the most important part of the CloudFormation stack? It's basically resources, right? Resources block, because that's the most key thing. So here also the resources. So here I am creating a logical ID here for policy. So the policy is basically IAM policy.
Mhm.
You can see the template file. I'm using the API version IAM, this one. So let's go back here. You can see, I'm checking for the policy. Sorry, policies, yes. So the API is already available thanks to ACK. And I'm going to use this API in my code here. This is the API version, and the kind is policy. So using Kube, later we can create IAM policies. So this policy is very simple. So here you can see the variable references. Standardization of the variables from the schema spec name, which means schema spec name. I'm taking the reference. And I think, Zach, you can explain what is this policy is about for a DynamoDB table. And I'm giving some permissions to do all these things. Correct me if I'm wrong if I put something not relevant, but yeah, I'm not a DynamoDB expert. Zach is the
Well, you are over provisioning with the access.
bad Zach. Yeah. So here the resources. Here I can explicitly say, okay, this action can be done only a specific resource. So later, I'm creating a DynamoDB table. I'm referencing that DynamoDB here. So this resource group will create a DynamoDB table later. So that's where it will assign here. And any FinOps team people or security team, they're going to love this because enforcing tags here. So that's where I took this team name to enforce. So environment, whatever the tags you want, you can put it here and you can enforce it. Make sense?
Yeah,
So
absolutely
we
makes
are going to
sense.
use the best practices. So same like that, we can create the IAM policy. We create the role. Now we are creating the IAM policy. And here I'm referencing the policy is creating here. Amazing, right? Since we are going to use pod identity, and this is the trust policy looks like. And again, I'm putting all the tax enforcement and here creating the pod identity association and passing all the relevant spec according to that their documentation in ACK. And creating a DynamoDB table here. These attributes are definitely familiar to you, Zach. What I'm trying to do.
DynamoDB definition.
Yes, exactly. And the table name, I'm gonna take from the spec name. I can pass the name as well. So here I have to show you something. Yes. So you can see the provision throughput, read capacity units, and write capacity units. So currently, I'm enforcing as 5. Let's say the platform team wants to manage these things, not the developers, to maybe for the cost or any other scenarios. Oops, sorry about that. It's only 9:15. Apple reminds me to go to bed. Here I'm enforcing all the time. Sorry, not the time. I'm enforcing all the values for the units. In this case, the platform team got the more access and the governance for do that, and developers don't have to worry about it. But you might think, okay, if developers want to have the agility do that, easy, make a variable, assign in the spec file, so developers can have their own values for that. So using the basic Kubernetes deployment, you can see the API version is v1. So in that case, in the future, anyone using a Kubernetes stack like a deployment, they are going to use the same API version. Top. And service accounts and mapping, these are like very basic things for Kubernetes. And here you see it's enforced resource request and limits, even though if developers are not pushing their, like passing their values, it will directly take from this default value. Oh, sorry, where's this resource or
The
default
below
values?
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, cool, right? Yeah, and for my demo, I need to inject a DynamoDB table name, an ARN and region for the demo for the container. So I just using some environment variable in the container spec. So just get those things done, and basically creating a service to expose the resources and creating ingress class. Thanks to auto mode, I don't have to install any controllers, so I just create ingress class and the ingress object. This is interesting as well. In this ingress object, I can pass the certificate ARN. So let's say a security team wants to make sure this is the ACM certificate ARN to use in your old applications. For this API, they can provide the ARN of the ACM, and developers don't have to worry about those things, and they can use it. And for the host, let's say we have a standardization in the organization. Okay, these are your test domains, so the production domain names to use. So we can enforce, okay, you don't have to worry about the domain name. Here, I'm just taking the application name and using a subdomain, and the domain name will be create fedora.awsfanboy.com. Yes, I own the awsfanboy.com. Yes, not a false statement. And creating a service account. And the last but not least, the pod disruption budget. The pod disruption budget is really important if you want to run your workload like resilience and make sure not to disrupt. So if you set up the pod disruption budget correctly, your node scaling like cluster autoscaler, Carpenter will respect that pod disruption budget, and it will do the thing. I think we have done a session about EKS auto mode, and I think we were using pod disruption budget there when we did the node patching, and we call it node rolling. Yeah, nice. Thank you, Zach. And here, again, as a platform, I thought of putting this because this is a real use case. Unhealthy pod eviction policy always allow, which means if there are any pods, let's say we have a deployment in the cluster, multiple deployments, some pods are unhealthy. Maybe it's under crash, roof back off, or any other unhealthy state. In those scenarios, Carpenter or any node scalers, it will respect the pod disruption. It will see, okay, we can't evict the pods from this node because it's unhealthy. Even the new pods are creating an unhealthy. It's like go back to a egg and chicken situation. And having these policies will enforce, okay, if the pod is unhealthy, it's anyways unhealthy, it will enforce the pod eviction in Kubernetes world. Nice. So this is the spec, and for my API, I think let's go and deploy this API. Cool. I have this file. So I have later Zach will share a link. So if you're using with a host name, you can use this. Without a host name, you can use this resource group definition. I'm going to quickly apply this file. Cool. It's created. So we have created the resource group, which means we should be able to see our API. Cool. So we have something called Fedora app stack. And I think Mohammed asked something about can be allow with the, control the namespace level. Yes. So you can see it's true. Managing custom multi-cluster their workloads to do centralized access to them. Cool. I'll come to that question later because I think we are running out of time, and we can go with the demo first. So Zach, so I have my own API now. My favorite fruit API is available, which we were talking about. This magic, this custom API, which is this.
The custom
Right?
API. Yep.
Yeah. So let's say now John's want to deploy my favorite fruit store. So where I can order more fruits. So we create the API. Now we have to create something called an instance. So instance is basically, we can have a set of a group of resources as a one instance, which will include all the Kube resources and all the AWS resources, which we deployed a few minutes ago in this file. So here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create an app called store, and my team name is dev team. And for sake of demo, like I'm just going to use the default namespace, and I have application pre-built already, and you can find this application, this app folder later, and you can build and deploy to your own ECR and test it out. I'm going to request 2 replicas. My container port is 80 and ingress enabled true. I have set some resource record limits and all these things. So you can map this. Basically, it's exactly this spec file here.
Right. But as a developer, now that you've shifted gears and as a developer's wearing the developer hat, you're also defining the values as a developer, right? Not the default ones.
Not the default one. So I have the agility to that. For example, let's say the replicas here, number 2, and image, I'm going to use my own image. But here, replicas by default is 3, but developers also can pass it. So because if not there, it will take the default values. Same like the Helm chart and the default value YAML file. Yeah. And once I deploy this, it should create all this magic behind the scene. It should create the AWS resources, Kube resource, and everything. So rather we wait, I'm going to use now my own API, which I created a few minutes ago, Figure Abstract API. This is the kind, and I am going to use my own API to deploy it, which is cool, right? I'm very proud. Nice. Let's go to the developer folder. Nice. Apply. Cool, it's created. So we have a kind called Fedora stack, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I type kubectl get Fedora stack, I should see my store is creating. It will take some time. So syncing, false, error, why is error in progress? Hope the demo goes with us. Nice, it's active.
It's active now.
Sweet. Cool. Let's get dynamo tables. Oops. Get tables. I have store DynamoDB table. It's active. Okay, get roles. And roles. I have IAM role here. Okay, get policy. I have policy also. So get ports. I love that autofilling, but sometimes it's really annoying. My 2 ports are running. Okay, fine. You can see ingress object created using the EKS auto ALB ingress class, and my host name is created. It's mapped to the ingress object created by the API. So I didn't use any IAM or anything, right? So it should be, if I go to the console, let's start with the DynamoDB table. So we should be able to see a table called Azure App Store. So provision read capacity, write capacity, you can see 5. Nice. And do you want to, okay, let's go here. The cluster. So you can see here, the store role, the pod identity association is created already, and it's mapped to my IAM role. And if I open the policy, this is the DynamoDB policy. So this is the DynamoDB table, which is created also. So explicitly giving a guardrailing all these things. These are like very simple examples, but I want to explain like how capable of these things, right? And yeah, I think it should be done. And hopefully, if the DNS everything is working, nice, it's ready. Cool.
Azure is ready.
Yeah, we can add some feature work. Nice. So let's say if the IAM and all the permissions are end-to-end working, so app should be able to see my FedJavas, right? Like 12, yeah, 16, yeah, 16. So it's working end-to-end. The application stack, like that entire instance deployed via API. So what we did, we created a custom API, which I defined what I wanted for my team. And if I want like multiple APIs, we can create multiple APIs and different teams can use it. And we have the control to update it. But I'm going to show you something really, really amazing. One more thing. Let's try to create something for like store here. Copy. Store, maybe let's say store. Okay, I will change the store to like Jones. Jones team. It's the same container and the cluster name same. Let's put as like maybe Jones App Store. Yeah. Cool. I'm gonna replace with this, rename as Jones. Cool. And okay, apply.
So this should create another store.
Yeah, so it should create another store called, I'm creating another instance, but it's a group of resources called Jones. So single API, I'm just creating multiple things, right? Cool.
So again, multiple instances, you can still have different values set in the spec.
Yeah. Oh, I should have changed some values also. But if I put like 6 here, it should be 6. But that's not what I'm interested in. I'm going to show you something really amazing. So let's go to tables and refresh. Jones App Store table is here, right? And you can see the provision read capacity units and write capacity units are 5 still. And same for this one, right? Right, cool. So if I get ingress, so we have Jones store as well, another ingress object created. Hopefully the DNS, okay. I think I'm first time creating it, the DNS will take some time to check. It's fine. Yeah, but it should take for a while to do it. But that's not the important thing I'm going to show. Let's say the platform team decided go to the resource group now, the API level. Okay, they want to do something in the DynamoDB table. Maybe read capacity to 6 or 10. What number you want?
Okay, 10.
10, nice. And write also 10.
Yep.
Cool. Nice. I'm going to save. This is done. Now I'm going to update the API. All right. In that case, I'm going to watch. So this is still active, right? And syncs true because it's synced already. And I'm going to open new one. And I am lazy. Cool. And I'm going to go back. Platform team. Trust me, this is the last one. So I'm going to update my API now. What we did, we updated these values from API level. Okay.
Yep.
And I'm going to update it. Cool. So the moment I update, my applications stores, right? See, it says its state is in progress. Sync is false. It was out of sync. And suddenly it detect the drift detection, and it within few seconds, you can see here, few seconds, it is synced it. So what are we expecting here now?
10.
Yes, you are correct.
But question to you, Zach. Say
Yeah.
as a developer, I want to override a defined value, and suddenly the API stack is being pushed.
Yeah.
How do I manage that?
So this example I'm showing as a platform level, like platform want to enforce it. You're asking a developer, right?
Yep.
Nice. So let's say if I want to do that, here, I can create what is this? It's called provisioning throughput, right? So let's say I'm going to use here something called provisioning throughput. Oh, Amazon Q is generating for me. Thank you. So I can put these values here. So once I put this one, so let's say the default is 10. If the developers are not defining it, it's very simple. I can go to the table here. I can put dollar, and oh, nice. It's already Amazon Q giving me all the things. So schema spec, provision throughput, read capacity unit. So it will, and write capacity unit. So I can give the agility to the developer team. But in my the previous case, what I did, I was enforcing from a platform level. Let's say we want to enforce another example. The app version deployment might be going to change to apps v2 in the future, like Kubernetes 1.36, for example. So we don't have to go and update each and every manifest like before in our demo here, right? I don't have to go and update every here. I just update in the single API, and when I update the API, it should be update all the resources. So it's that much cool, and it's only like people are trying to adapting it, and
Yeah, there was a question around security.
Oh, security. Security. What type of security? Like, could you be more specific? Like, RBAC part, or so like let's say
Should be dropping in the chat soon. So yes.
Yes. So here I'm creating API, right? So if you're creating your RBAC, rollback access from Kube, and if you're creating your roles and mapping those roles to correct users or IAM roles, and you can define, okay, this API should be able to access from this users or groups or service account. You can define it. It's same like it's Kubernetes native. That's the thing I just wanted to tell. It's Kubernetes native. So it will, if it's working for other APIs, it will work for this API as well.
Yeah, I think on the security for the API level, that's what he means, I believe.
Sorry, I don't get it. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, probably.
Anyone in the chat can help, maybe?
Probably Mohammed can rephrase it.
Yeah, rephrase it. How we deal with security. What's approach to follow?
Is it the security for the app stack, custom API stack?
No, I mean, anyways, cool. Yeah, feel free to reach out to me, Zach. Happy to have a chat or answer that question. Yeah, but I want to say like it's Kubernetes native approach. So if you're saying like, so you means API, right? Let's say you have some security for your other APIs, it should work. And if you have any custom resource definitions like CRDs installed, you can use here. So basically, in your resource block, any API is available in your Kubernetes cluster should be able to satisfy this. So there's no any blockers for that because it's Kubernetes native. Yeah. So that's all about that. Let's say John is back. No, I think it will take some time.
Yeah, DNS is going to take some time.
Yeah. Cool. And I think, Jones, you have already shared the report, right? Like, yeah, you can try it out and see. Yep.
Yeah. We'll see
What do you
more
think about this
Fedora
one?
stores coming out.
What do you think about this, Jones? You like it?
Sounds interesting. Yeah, I really like the fact where, especially when you have platform team that's managing on the infra side, having a central governance or a team that's managing it, that's of a priority. And that, I mean,
Yeah.
enabling platform engineers to enforce certain things, be it like even the one that you mentioned with API versioning and all of that is really great. So yeah.
And let's say we want to annotate our deployments, right? Like it's another good thing you mentioned. And Mohammed asked about some security, right? Like let's say let's go to our resource definition and deployment. Let's say if we want to put some labels or annotation for the deployment. Let's say we want to enable here in this case it says Prometheus monitoring. So let's say if you want to security of the Fedora API, I think.
Yeah, I think Mohammed is asking custom stack. Security
Yeah,
for the
but
custom stack.
security of deep inside the security of the Fedora API. Sorry, I'm still. I don't get the question really. Maybe I'm dumb. No, just kidding. So yeah. Okay, let me finish what I was saying. Right, like let's say Zach, all the application should use these labels annotations for like for a security tool. So the tool will detect it, or like monitoring tool like Prometheus here, and like New Relic, or even the NRI Prometheus. So you can put this scraping true. So all these metrics should go to these Prometheus or New Relic dashboards. In that case, you can enforce it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, using those labels and annotations. And coming back to the question, I'm so sorry. I didn't get the question. Like security. Okay, there are so many. It's a vast question, to be honest.
Okay, maybe
Yeah, I'm
just
so
touch
sorry.
upon the security of how do you enforce security as a whole?
Oh, security as a whole. Yes. So you can see here we have a couple of developers and platform teams, right? So you're creating one API for uh, uh, a store team, or then another API for like backend team or front end team, multiple APIs. And those APIs are namespace resource base as well. Like, it support resource level in the namespace level. So we have cluster level and namespace level. So you can create a role in Kubernetes. Okay. And you can create a rollback mapping for that, which users are going to use that role, and giving that for the namespace. Let's say in that namespace, creating these APIs are allowed for these users. For the front end, front end we have S3 bucket or CDN, cloud front on those things, and we have a specific API for that, and that API is only allowed in this namespace, and those roles on Kubernetes RBACs are mapped. So let's say the backend developers are not part of that namespace, they are not the namespace admins. Isolation between group as tags. Yes, so that's the isolation you can do. We can have namespace based. So for this demo, I'm using default namespace. That's why all in the default namespace. If you have multiple namespace, we can isolate with the namespace. You can do the namespace level security, like who can access the namespace, who can do the specific action for that namespace. You can isolate it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, that does. And I guess it did answer Mohammed's question as well.
Yeah.
But
And again, think this as a Kubernetes native approach. How you isolating your APIs for like say deployment or a stateful set? How you isolating it? Like it's a namespace level, you can do it, right? Same way you can do it in this one as well. It's Kubernetes approach.
brilliant. Wow.
Yeah.
Today I learned something new.
Every day we learn something new. Yeah. I mean, yes.
Awesome, Zach.
Cool. Thank
I
you.
believe if there's no other question, we can.
Yeah, if you have any deep question, Mohammed, happy to have a chat on you. And if you have tried these, I'd love to hear from you as well. I mean, learn from you. Yeah, and specifically those security question, more than happy to have a chat.
Yep. Yeah, anything EKS, anything Kubernetes, Zach is the guy. So contact for more information.
We have Deepin in the chat, so
Contact Vipin and
Yeah.
Zach.
Cool. It was fun, and yes, it's my bedtime. I think we can have another amazing session. Maybe next one with Deepin.
Yes,
Who knows?
fingers crossed. Well,
Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you.
thank you all for tuning in, and thanks to Zach for sharing this amazing update on Crow. So, with
So, yeah, please buy.
Oh.
Oh yes, Jones is
the
here.
DNS accept, so nice. So the demo is end to end now.
Oh yeah, so yeah, cool, nice, all good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, this was really fun, Zach. So thank you for sharing the updates on Crow, of course, for Jora as well. Yeah, keep applying with serverless. Okay. Let's do serverless Kubernetes.
Yes. Hey, John. Thank you. Yeah, John is he's part of the AWS community organizing thing. So he's the one who behind a lot of these website updates and a lot of other things as well. So
yeah, John has also built a cool tool. So in case somebody wants AI generated images for the speakers and things, John has created a really amazing tool. I don't have the link handy, but yes, we can share that out. So
nice. All good then.
Cool then.
Thank you, everyone. Hope to see you in another 2 weeks, maybe.
Yes. We'll come back with something Kubernetes or serverless, or probably even Kubernetes with serverless. So, yeah. Until next time, then. Thank you all for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Yes.